Hello, this is a training that I made specially for you. It is going to teach you step by step what you need to do to make sure that you're eating the right amount of calories and also the right amount of macronutrients, which are proteins, carbs, and fats, in order to get the weight loss results that you want. It actually is quite simple, but you do need to sit down and plug in the numbers, see what works for you, and then it's also important to follow up with yourself once a week and make sure that you are seeing progress going in the right direction, because if you aren't, you can manipulate the numbers a little bit to get different results and get better results. So this is specifically for weight loss for people who are wanting to preserve their hard-earned muscle mass, their lean muscles, and to decrease your fat mass. This is not for somebody who just wants to lose weight. And you don't care where the weight loss comes from, if you don't care if you lose a lot of muscle, then this approach is not for you. This is for people who want to look more athletic and toned and have like nice arms and nice legs, but no cellulite, right? So that is what this specific protocol works so good for. So the first thing that we need to talk about that you need to be aware of is called your BMR. Your BMR is what you burn while your body is at rest. This is the least amount of calories that you would ever want to eat to basically just keep you alive. So it's really important to know your BMR, where your BMR is. And so you want to figure out that. And I'm going to be giving you a really great calculator that will help you figure this out. All you need to know is your weight, approximately how much body fat you have, and how active you are on a weekly basis, as far as like how much time you're walking, exercising, and doing other physical activities. So your TDEE, that is your total daily energy expenditure. Now your TDEE takes into consideration your BMR, right? So your base metabolic rate. And then it also takes into consideration all of your physical activity and your digestion, you chewing, all of the little tiny things that you do. It takes everything into account, and it tells you how much energy that you're burning in a 24-hour period. Now, when you have your TDEE, this is your total daily energy expenditure. It's gonna vary from day to day, right? So if I exercise today, but then I don't exercise tomorrow, and then on the weekends, I go on a 9-mile hike, which is something I usually don't do on a weekly basis, my calories are gonna be varying from day to day. Isn't that right? So this is just gonna give us like an example. This is just gonna give us like kind of a guideline, an idea of where you normally hitting as far as how many calories are you burning on a daily basis. So once you know your TDEE, you want to put yourself in a calorie deficit, because if you want to lose weight, you do have to be in a calorie deficit. I like to personally put people in a 20 to 25% calorie deficit. Normally, if somebody has, let's say somebody's at about 20 to 28% body fat, I usually will put them at about a 22% deficit. Now, if I have a client who is maybe more obese, or she's 30% body fat or higher, then I'll put her more at 25% calorie deficit. So let's just say you go with a 22% calorie deficit. This is gonna be a big enough deficit where you will see change quickly, but it won't be a big enough calorie deficit where you're really uncomfortable and you feel hungry all the time. And it is important that when you're dieting, you wanna get results, but you want it to be something that you can also have balance in your daily life, and you still get to enjoy foods that you eat on a day-to-day basis. So now you know, okay, you know your TDEE, you know how many calories that you're burning on a 24-hour period. Now put yourself at a 22% calorie deficit. Once you know that number of what a 22% calorie deficit is, you have this big number that you want to hit. Well, now we have to figure out, proteins, carbs, and fats I forgot I had my board here. Protein, carbs, and fats, you wanna figure out like what is gonna be the best breakdown for you. So depending on what you're currently eating, if you currently are somebody that tracks your food in an app or something like Chronometer or MyFitnessPal, maybe you have an idea of what you like to eat already and what that breakdown looks like. I work with a lot of clients who practice flexible dieting, and so they already kind of have an idea of what they're currently eating. But if you have no idea what you're currently eating, it really depends on your activity level, how old you are, and what you feel comfortable with. But I like to start people, you always want to figure out how much protein, right? So for fat loss, it is important to have a higher protein intake. So I like to start clients at anywhere from 0.8 to 1.0 grams per pound per body weight. So with fat then, fat is second, you want to do for how much fat you're gonna have, 0.2 to 0.25 grams per pound of body weight. And then whatever is left over, you want to eat most of your calories, as much of your calories coming from carbs, because carbs are going to make you feel good, feel full, feel energized, and it is going to help you lose weight faster. Taking into consideration that these carbs are not donuts and pancakes and all of that, but really it's more of potatoes, rice, beans, quinoa, etc., and fruits. So that is how you come up with your protein, carbs, and fats. What did I write over here? Oh, here is an example. I'm actually gonna move this a little bit. I have a tripod here. Okay, so here I wrote that you wanna be in a 20 to 25% calorie deficit. I like to start clients at 22% calorie deficit. And then here is my example client. So my example client, she's wearing a polka dot dress. She weighs 140 pounds, just as an example. She's shorter, she's chubby, she wants to lose weight, right? She weight trains. So what I would do, this client, she works out between 4 to 6 days a week, and she gets about 4 to 6 hours a week of physical activity, whether it's walking, weight training, Pilates, whatever that is. So I would put her at a 22% calorie deficit. That would give her, her calorie deficit would be 1,530 calories per day. That would be a calorie deficit. And you can see here, her protein, I would put her at 1 gram per pound of body weight, so 140 grams of protein a day. And then for carbs here, I would have her at 164 grams of carbs per day. And for fat, I can't really read backwards. Okay, for fat, I would put her at 35 grams of fat per day. So essentially, you're getting the carbs, 1 gram per pound. Fat is gonna be 20% of her calories come from fat. And then whatever that adds up to, I would subtract that from her total calories, which is 1,530 calories. So that is going to be how many calories that she's having a day with how much protein, carbs, and fats. I am going to be sending you a link to a calculator that I love to use. I find it to be extremely helpful. I have given this calculator out to so many people, and it really, really, really helps. It keeps things simple and to the point. If you have any questions on how to calculate your calories and you're confused or you have questions, please just message me. Either respond to this email that I'm sending you or go ahead and message me on Instagram or whatever. Okay, I hope so much that that was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I can't wait for you to reach your goals. You can do this.